am I actually physically safe in this moment? And if there isn't a natural disaster happening right outside your window, if there's not a fire, if there isn't actually something that your body needs to be in survival for, then I think this is a place that we can talk about. We could talk about how to get yourself back into how to meet your survival needs in that moment. Because there's
But asking for guidance for everybody's highest good, that's empowering. And now instead of a victim, now you're coming in with strength and you're like, yes, and I know my prayers do count.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Awakening Souls. We got Rose, Candace, and Jennifer with you today. And today we're going to talk about a subject that has been on my heart lately. I don't know if it's been on your heart. The subject about safety, about where we're at in our world right now, what's going on, and how we're all feeling. I kind of have this question of, are we safe where we're at in this world?
It
Hmm.
definitely feels like we're in a chaotic time. And it feels like the chaos is escalating, not diminishing, at least from the human perspective. So I
Hmm.
agree with you, Jennifer. It does sometimes feel unsafe. And sometimes it's hard to find the balance between feeling comfortable in the world and also staying in the know about what's happening in the world. So we think about there's a lot of chaos in our government here in the United States, for sure. A lot of concern, a lot of worry with that. We've got natural disasters going on in multiple places in our country. And
Hmm.
so you feel for the people that are going through those challenges. And with all of that stuff going on, you can begin to feel helpless or disempowered.
Hmm.
And, I'm just one little person. So what can I do with all of this? There's not anything that I can do to help with it, or at least that's how it feels.
Yeah, definitely feels that way.
Hmm. And it's hard as people that are empath and sensitive. Like almost everybody that's going to listen to this podcast is going to be a sensitive, empathic person. You are like a sponge, and that chaotic energy sometimes can just soak right into you. And you can become overwhelmed because we do have open hearts that want to give and want to help. So, today we just wanted to talk about it. I don't know that we're going to have a million great solutions, but we want to acknowledge that that's going on in the world right now, that there's a lot going on out there that we have no control over, but we are still going through our own awakening process. And we know that the more we can embody a positive state of being, the more we can be a positive influence in the world. And we can
Hmm.
awaken our own spirit and our own growth. So how do you keep on the track of moving forward in your awakening and finding the gratitude and the love and the joy when you can see, sense, and feel so many others suffering around you? And maybe not in your immediate family, though that sometimes is the case too. And I don't know that we have any great answers, but I think it's worth a discussion.
Well, I think first it's important to check in with yourself. Are you actually physically safe? Because I think that's just number one. We need to really check in and look at our environment. Our mind doesn't know the difference between what is real and what is imagined or what's put in front of us on the TV or through social media. And we can easily put our nervous system into fight or flight or freeze when we are consuming all of the things that are going on in the world. So just take a second and ask yourself, am I actually physically safe in this moment? And if there isn't a natural disaster happening right outside your window, if there's not a fire, if there isn't actually something that your body needs to be in survival for, then I think this is a place that we can talk about. We could talk about how to get yourself back into how to meet your survival needs in that moment. Because our body is so beautiful in the way that it works. If your body needs to be in survival because you physically are not safe, it's going to put you in a survival mode to help you get to safety, to get to a place where you can feel safe. So if you're in an environment that actually physically is not safe for you, you have to allow your body to do its thing and to run its course and to be in survival mode until it can get you to a place where you can finally regulate your nervous system again, go through the emotions of the trauma that you just experienced, and then work from there. But let's talk about if you're actually not in danger at the very moment. And what I'm hearing you say, Jennifer, is more about like when I'm watching these things, when I'm consuming these things, when I'm
Yes.
seeing it on social media, that is signaling to your body, not safe, not safe, not safe. And so your body is going through these different states of fight, flight, and freeze. And when you're in that state, you can feel really helpless because your body's like, what do I do? Where do I go? How do I get myself
Mm.
into safety? Okay. So now it's about regulating your nervous system, checking in. Am I actually physically safe? Like, where's my bottom right now? Is it in my seat? Am I in a safe room? Is there music playing? Like, start tuning into your senses and telling your body, okay, I am not in any immediate danger at this moment, and allow your system, your nervous system to calm back down and regulate before you can move forward.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I've been consuming a lot, and the more I consume, the more fearful I get, the more angry I get. And I realized I'm putting out the wrong energy here. This is not the energy I want to be feeling or spreading. That's why I wanted to talk about this today, because I feel like a lot of people feel this way. I think we all need to try and figure out how to change our mindset.
Yeah, and I don't think it's about bypassing or ignoring the very serious things that are going on in the world, but it's an element of removing yourself from it if you're not in any physical danger, because we need to protect our mental and emotional health.
As empaths, when we're consuming any type of media, we are so open that we are actually energetically connecting with who is ever on the other side of the screen. There is an energetic cord that is created as soon as you're looking at somebody through a screen, positive or negative, and you are pulling in their energy, and it's going to impact you. And so when you're doing the doom scrolling and you're moving through one thing after another, which is just so addictive and so easy to get into that, you're almost bombarding your system with a million different energies of lots of different people with
Mm-hmm.
lots of different ideas and vibrations. And so that gets to be overwhelming and too much for the empath as well, because it's so much. After a while, at least for me, when I get into that zone and I'm just watching too many videos or looking at too many posts, my energy feels very frazzled and I don't know myself anymore. It's like all jumbled in with all the other individuals that I have connected with, even if it's just for 30 seconds. 30 seconds is plenty of time for an empath to connect with someone energetically. And it's like we're pulling in what they're sending out. So it is important to detach from screens, to give yourself time to know yourself, to give yourself time to clear any of those energies that you've picked up. And I think it's also important to curate what you're looking at and decide what kind of content do you want absorbing, because it's going to impact your vibration.
I think what's important to talk about as well is that as empaths have a heightened sensitivity to external stimuli, or have heightened mirror neurons who are going to attach to other people's emotions, and the boundary gets blurred between what is their emotions and now what is your emotions. And
Mm-hmm.
empaths have a heightened nervous system, an overactive nervous system from their own unhealed traumas and pains that they experienced. So when you're engaging in interactions, whether it be on social media, the news, or even in person with people who are going through a real flight or fight survival nervous system reaction, your body is picking up on that and it's going, "Oh my God, I'm not safe. They're not safe. I'm not safe." even though in your physical environment, you may be totally safe. You might be
Hmm.
cozied up on your couch with your animals and a warm cup of coffee, but your brain it doesn't know the difference. So it sends your body into fight or flight. It's triggering your unhealed nervous system. So the only thing that you can do at that point is to turn off social media, to turn off and stay away. Like, it
Hmm.
doesn't mean that you're being ignorant to what's going on in the world. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting your emotional and your mental health because you cannot do anyone any good, cannot do, and there's no service happening if you're also in fight or flight. You have to put yourself in the vibration of a regulated nervous system so you can potentially do something to help if that's what is needed. And let's go back to the vibration thing. When you're in a specific vibration, when you're in a high vibration, you are inherently changing the world. You are inherently connecting with all the other energies who are surrounding you and feeding them positive energy. And so that they can regulate with your positive energy, with your positive nervous system, and they can come out of fight or flight. So I just want to say, by you taking care of yourself and taking yourself out of the collective narrative, out of the collective consciousness, out of the collective fear, you are doing a service to humanity. It is not a selfish thing.
That is an important point because guilt is there. Guilt is there. Shouldn't I be aware of everything? Shouldn't I know what's going on? Maybe I can help.
Yeah. Is
But
someone going to ask me about current affairs? And I'm going to be like, what are you talking about?
mm-hmm. Oh, there she is burying her head in the sand again, you
Oh,
know? That is a hard balance to find.
Energy flows where attention goes. Imagine the millions of people who are putting their attention on all the destruction and chaos that is happening in the world. All we're doing is feeding that energy.
yeah. I realized one day that I was just so much focus on what was happening in our world and with our government right now. And it was just making me angry. And I was just feeling anger a lot. And I realized this is the opposite of what I want to be feeling. I need to be feeling peaceful, love, joy. And the only way to do that is to put that out there in the world. So instead of feeling hate and anger towards certain people in our government, I am sending love and praying for their guidance, for the good of all, and just doing that kind of thing instead of focusing on the things that I don't like what they're doing.
I think it's important if you're feeling angry about what's happening in the world, like allow yourself
Oh, I
for a
do.
period of time.
I
Right.
do.
This is for everybody to feel the anger. Like, get
Hmm.
honest with what you're angry about. What is that bringing up for you? What emotions are that bringing up for you? Does it remind you of something in your past, maybe of not having control, not having a say so with your body or your life? Because those
Hmm.
are going to be triggers. They're triggers on what has happened to us, either as a collective historically or as an individual with your personal story. So allow yourself to get pissed off about it. Kick and scream, fight, like journal about it. Get honest about the emotions that are really coming up. You've got to let those emotions run their course through your body because they're real. They should not be ignored. But then once they run their course through your body, then it's about, okay, I've had my feelings about it. This is not healthy for me. I cannot keep engaging in this way because there's physically nothing that I'm going to do or can do to fix the situation. The best thing I can do is now to take care of myself. And that's when you can put yourself into higher vibrational emotions.
And Jennifer, I really like that you are empowering yourself by choosing to send prayerful energy in the direction of the situation that you're unhappy with.
Thank
So
you.
I think that's a really empowering move to pray or send Reiki energy or do something positive. And it's also a surrender. You're saying, okay, I can't fix this, but there are powers bigger than myself that I'm going to call upon for help in this situation. And if more and more people are doing that, sending positive energy to the situation, to the leaders that we may not be happy with, but asking for guidance for everybody's highest good, that's empowering. And now instead of a victim, now you're coming in with strength and you're like, yes, and I know my prayers do count. And I know me
Yeah.
praying along with all the other people that are sending positive prayers, that can make a difference. And so now you're taking action rather than just being a victim.
Because we're not really powerless. We may not be able to be out there fighting and actually making a physical change, but energy comes first. What are some things that we can do if we are in a safe environment to re-regulate our nervous system, to signal to our body that we are safe so that we can move out of fight or flight and get into a higher vibration? So, one thing we did talk about was getting off of social media. Oh my gosh, get off of it, please.
Turn off the TV.
Turn off the TV. Look at how you're feeling when you're scrolling or when you're engaging in certain conversations or certain activities. How is that making you feel? And then if it's not making you feel good, then it's time to put it down and stay away from it. Some other things that you can do when you're feeling unsafe in your body, when your body's in that fight or flight mode, it's really interesting to get curious about yourself when you're in that state, to notice, like, oh, where's my body? Okay, how is my body feeling right now? Is my body feeling like it needs to run, right? Are we in flight? Do we need to escape? Do we need to run? Are we scrolling really quickly? Are we quickly changing the channel over and over and over again? That is all a good signal that your body is in a flight mode. And so what you can do when you're in a flight mode is to actually allow your body to go run, to like squeeze your fists as hard as you can, pound your feet, like run, 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 run until you exhaust the energy of feeling like you need to run or flight or fly. And then you can come to a calm state. And you can, because you're allowing that energy to move through you. All that is nervous system energy. You're allowing that energy to move through you. Same thing if you're in fight, get up, punch, do an exercise, do something that can exhaust the energy. Go for like that quick run, even if you're just standing in place. Exhaust the energy and then come back to your body and tune in. Tune into your body. When we're in fight or flight, our brains disconnect from our body. It doesn't want to feel the body. It's too busy. It's got other things to do. So you got to come back to feeling the body. Ask yourself, gosh, do I have toes? Are my knees there? And you start paying attention to where other parts of your body are. We've talked about this with Kate Collins when we talk about neuroemotional coaching, right? Coming back to the body. Do I have armpits? Do I have shoulders? Can I feel the back of my neck? And start focusing your attention on the body. And that starts to calm the body down and signal to the body that it's okay to relax, that you are, in fact, safe, slowly moving you out of fight or flight. And then what you can do to regulate your nervous system a little bit further is you want to just move slowly after that. Okay, you want to give yourself time and space. You want to shut off all external distractions. You want to go get a snack, something to eat, something to reground your body, and drink some water so that you can signal the body it's okay and I'm safe. Because when we're in fight or flight, we can't eat or drink. Our bodies are too busy trying to escape from the tiger that's trying to eat us, right? So we got to come back to safety, telling the body that we're safe.
There are things that I do regularly to help me regulate my body. Number one, and my very favorite, is I get a giant exercise ball and I lay upside down on it. And what that does is it alters and switches you to the parasympathetic nervous system, and it just takes away that fight or flight or freeze. And it just causes you to relax and feel safe. So going upside down on a big exercise ball and slowly rolling back and forth, within 10 seconds of doing that, I start yawning almost immediately. So it's a
Wow.
physical reaction that regulates the nervous system, and it's a wonderful one.
Yeah.
Another one that's good for me is swinging, getting in just a swing and just swinging back and forth. That rocking motion is so soothing and relaxing, and it allows my body to relax and let go of all of that tension. Sound is another huge one for me. So if I am really stressed, I have certain music that I can listen to that will trigger relaxation in my body because I've used that same music for so many years that anytime I hear it now, my body's like, oh, this is our relaxing music. This is what we do every time I hear this music. And so that's like another thing that another tool that I have that will help me. So having the things that work for your body. Oh, another good one, breath work. That's a huge one for me
Mm,
is breath work. Also, somatic yoga. That's another good one for me just to release some of that emotion and stretch my body. And like Candace says, it brings all of those things bring you back to your physical body.
Yeah.
So it's like finding the tools that work for your physical body that can help you reconnect with it and trigger some of those relaxation mechanisms so that you can get out of that, fight, flight, or freeze mode. Then you can actually start processing the emotions, looking at what happened, why did you feel that way? And it helps you get back to yourself and feel much more regulated. And if you have those tools in your toolkit, you know what works for you. Oh gosh,
mhm,
another one, jumping up and down really helps too. So like if I'm in a big crowd, I'll go into the bathroom and go into a stall and just jump up and down for a little while to regulate my system.
Hmm.
And then I can go back out and I can face the crowd again, feeling much better. Yeah, there's all kinds of those kinds of activities that will help you to re-regulate pretty easily.
You know what I do?
What?
I feel when I'm in fight or flight, I feel a lot of energy in specific parts of my body, and they're usually in my root chakra. So it's around my hips, my lower back, and my legs. So I find that if I shake, like if I stand up and I move my feet as fast as I can, or I like shake my hips really fast, that helps dispel some of that extra energy,
Hmm.
which feels
Hmm.
so good to get rid of the
mhm,
buildup energy. But I love breath work. That is something I totally forgot about too, right? Because it's
Hmm.
so easy. You have your breath everywhere you go. You don't have to have a specific tool. It's not something that needs to be a big production. It's just like taking really, really deep, slow breaths over and over and over again for
Hmm.
2 minutes max, even to calm your nervous system down. Breath is so easy. Breath signals to your brain and to your nervous system that we don't need to be in fight or flight. We don't need to be afraid. We don't need to run away. And it tells your brain to calm down, tells your parasympathetic nervous system to turn on, and it just brings everything right back down to a calm. And then I love what you said, Rose. Once you get there, then we can start processing the emotions.
Hmm. It's not like
But
what is it? Not spiritual bypassing or just repressing. It's getting yourself to the state where now I can look at this and figure out what's really going on.
Mhm.
Is it as something as simple as I'm consuming too much social media and I just need to, have a timeout from that for a while? Or are there things that are being triggered by this that I need to actually look into and do some digging and some healing on? Yeah, and then there's the big sigh too, where you take in that big deep breath and then you just like sigh and just relax everything.
I do that a lot.
Do you? It
A
feels so
lot.
good, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I like to practice gratitude any chance I get. That's my go-to because that brings me back to my bliss state, which should be my original state.
Is it easy for you once you've been in heightened emotions to come back to gratitude?
It's a lot like Rose said with her music. Once I get
Oh,
into that mindset, my body takes over. It's like, oh, I know what we're doing. So yeah, it's very easy now for me to do that.
you've trained your body.
I'm doing it right now. Can you tell?
It's like muscle memory, isn't it?
It is.
Sometimes I do get in the zone where I just want to tune out the entire world and I want to isolate. Sometimes I get so overwhelmed that I'm like, oh, that's it. I've had enough with the whole world. I'm just gonna be by myself and I don't want to talk to anybody. And I think that can be a little dangerous.
Mm,
Having some time to be quiet and to, re-regulate and get back to yourself and have time to process is really important. But if things get bad with me, I just want to shut the whole world out.
same.
You get like that too sometimes?
Oh yeah.
How long? How long do you shut the world out, Rose?
As long as it takes.
That's a really good question. And I think it depends on how off I'm feeling. Or sometimes it's like sometimes it's not like really obvious. Sometimes that's just like dull background noise. And I get myself in a dysregulated state without even realizing it, and I let it go on for too long. And if that happens, then I do need some time to really completely shake that off and get back to feeling like myself. And so it depends on how dysregulated I get. Now, one of my favorite vacations is to go up into the Boundary Waters in Canada and kayak. And you don't see anybody up there. So I've gone up and been by myself for a full week where I don't see anybody for a week. And that is so blissful, so wonderful. And my intuition, just like the volume on that turns up because I don't have any other distractions. And so I've done at least a full week completely on my own and really enjoyed it.
When do you know when it's time to get yourself, like, I'm assuming you get into these states when you're not on vacation, not by yourself at home. So when do you know? What's the cue that says, oh, okay, I've fallen into this like kind of this rut of wanting to just be by myself and I know this isn't healthy. How do I get myself out of here?
I know when I need to go be by myself because it's when I start feeling like crying all the time and I have no reason for crying. I know when it's time to go back to seeing people when I start missing people. Like I start just thinking about, oh, wouldn't it be nice to go over and talk to my neighbor? Or wouldn't it be nice to go out to dinner with my husband? It's like there's this urge to reconnect with people that starts bubbling up within me. It's like I'm missing that connection.
This sounds like the need to go retreat and be by yourself is almost your body's way of signaling to you that you need to go sit in your own energy. And what you're doing is you're processing and expelling extra energy from other people to re-regulate yourself. And then when you finally are like, oh, I feel regulated again, I'm feeling normal, I want to go back to the people I love, then your body's in a healthy enough place that you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
A safe enough place. Because what that would be your body doesn't feel safe when it's overstimulated with everyone else's emotions. And so to retreat means safety for you. To be
Yes,
alone without people means safety.
absolutely. And I've talked about this before where one of the thoughts in my mind is that people are bad.
Yeah.
And I have to reprogram my mind that no, people are good. For the longest time, I didn't realize what was happening and would just do everything that was expected of me social wise. And I mean, you go to school every day, you're around tons of people all day long. So I never even had the opportunity to rest and be just myself. So once I figured out that that was a need, that was a big aha moment that really helped me get to a better state and then realize, oh, I do like people. People are the best. And I need other people.
Just finding that healthy balance between people and yourself.
And also learning all of the energetic tools that we do through learning Reiki and learning how to manage my energies and how to have energetic boundaries and how to do psychic cleansing. And I mean, all of those tools help as well.
Oh
And
my gosh, yes. We are energetic beings. So we are constantly picking up energies from other people or from social media or from whatever it is that we're engaging with. And if we're not consciously cleansing our energies and sending the energy that we've unconsciously picked up, sending it back to its rightful owners, and then calling all of the energy that we've left in places back home to ourselves, we are constantly intertwining with other energies and that can feel really confusing about what is ours and what is somebody else's, and that can influence our mental and emotional state.
So, what's a good way to cleanse yourself of those energies? What do you guys do?
There are lots of different ways that you can do that. One, you have to recognize that you're probably picking up on other people's energies, and that's going to come with a lot of time and a lot of self-awareness. But having some sort of conscious, intentional practice that you do every single day. And I know that sounds like a lot to have something that you do every single day, but it doesn't have to be a production, it doesn't have to be big. Every night when you go to bed, you just have that thought of, okay, guides, I need you to come in. I'd like to disconnect from everybody's energy, send all of that energy back home to where it belongs. And I call all of the energy I've left with people, places, and things, I call that back home. And you take a second to just allow that to happen, to ground your energy into Mother Earth and to close and seal. That's what I
I
do.
I envision a waterfall, like I'm standing under a waterfall and it just comes down, washes all that. And sometimes I'll just do that in the shower too.
Mhm.
Just wash away all that energy, send it back to where it came from.
Yeah, I do that every night when I go to bed. That's the first thing I do. I do about a 10-minute meditation where I just clear each chakra going all the way down. And then I just run the white light through me,
Mhm.
ground into Mother Earth, releasing anything that doesn't belong to me. And then, yeah, calling my energy back. And
Yeah.
then I also end by putting the white bubble of light around me
Oh,
so that my bubble's in place, ready for tomorrow.
yeah.
Clean house, put up boundaries.
Yes.
I'm not great at doing this consistently every single night, but I have gotten really good at being able to tell when my energy feels different.
Off. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
feels off. Like there's almost this static feeling I get in my body where I physically feel like static on my skin. It's very strange. Or it feels static in my brain. And that's how I know I've accumulated too much energy that isn't my own. And I'll do a meditation for an energy clearing, or I'll just do that simple practice of disconnecting energies. And every time I do it, I feel energy leave me. I feel my energy come back. And then I feel like, oh my God, there I am. I'm home. Oh, it
Yeah.
feels so good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then I could go about life.
Yeah. And there's other things you can do for energy clearing. There's certain crystals you can carry or use for clearing or protection. There are herbs, there are essential oils. Another really good thing is taking salt baths. That is a
Mm.
really powerful way. When I'm really gunked up, a salt bath will make me feel fresh and new again. It's amazing. So, yeah, it's like finding the things. Sound therapy, music can also do that. So, lots of good things you can do to clear your energies. Yeah, it's basically trying them out and see what works best for you and finding a way to incorporate them regularly into your life. So, it's like, two-sided, setting boundaries and limiting what's coming in, and then afterwards clearing what you don't need to hold on to because it's not helping you anymore. And you're creating your own safe world. So it's like we can be safe in our own individual worlds, even if the external world isn't always safe. But it takes intention and practice. And also not judging yourself when you are struggling with that and just being kind and compassionate and loving to yourself and be like, okay, I'm a bit overwhelmed right now. What can I do to just love myself and support myself?
Yeah, it's not going to be a perfect practice, but having the awareness and coming back to yourself and letting go when you need to, that's the important part. It's always coming back.
So, before we go, we do have some really exciting news about something we've been working on for a few months now. It's been in the planning stages. And what we're going to do is we're going to be launching a Patreon channel for all of our beautiful Awakening Souls community. We've been wanting a way to really connect with you where we offer things where you can interact with us live every month. And so we're putting together different activities like card readings and intuition workshops and journals and affirmations and all the kinds of things to help support you on your spiritual growth. So we'll be launching that in just a couple weeks. So if you are interested, you can check out our new Patreon channel. We would love to see you there. If you would like to check it out, the link for it will be in our show notes.
Thank you for spending this time with us. Remember, you are safe, you are loved, and you have the power to return to peace within.